Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Welcome to the wide world of wrestling. My name's Simon Tackler. Joining me is my co-host, Neil Walters. Neil, how's it going?
Oh, yeah. Otis, baby. I know I said on the last one, my heart's going to pick Otis. There's no way. If I was a betting man, which I am a betting man, I think it would have been like 1,000-1 for Otis to win this thing. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, you were right. He was one of the most popular people going in, and I guess they just thought, why not? No one else really made sense, but at the same time, Otis makes no sense. It's great.
No, I think I would have picked... I had a storyline for pretty much everyone else but Otis winning this thing. Like AJ, you've got he just came back from dying, so this may be his thing. He doesn't have tag partners anymore, so they never give him something. Aleister Black's probably the one that deserved the biggest push. Mm-hmm. Daniel Bryan's an obvious one. King Corbin would have been the arsehole of one, and Rey Mysterio could have been like the feel good kind of story to it. But
Gets
Otis
one more
is
shot.
Just like,
yeah.
where the hell do you go from this?
I don't know. It looks like for whatever reason on SmackDown they're building a WWE title division of hillbilly guys with beards who are kind of beefy. If it's Otis, Braun, and Bray, that's the weirdest main event division ever. So much
They're really
for Vince
playing
McMahon.
to the Florida crowd.
Yeah, well, that exactly. We only exist in one state. Here's what you like. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know.
God damn it, we're gonna play here. This is good shit.
Yeah, every guy looks like a Florida gator hunter or something. It's weird. But hey, I'm for it.
What happens with Otis? What do you think?
I don't know. I kind of like him with Mandy Rose sort of going for the world title, but maybe she'll sort of sway him in the wrong direction. Maybe that's where this goes. And what if this was a long con and he does the dirty work and Ziggler somehow benefits in the end? That would be a good twist. I don't know.
I like the idea of a long con. I also like the idea of her kind of using it against him. So taking she kind of sucks him out of it and she then uses the briefcase to win the women's title.
Yeah, okay, that could happen.
You've got to think there's some kind of other play, because I can't imagine Otis just running, his music hitting, him running down and defeating like Brock Lesnar or something with a worm. It just doesn't quite make sense. Although Otis defeating Brock Lesnar with the worm would be the greatest visual of any wrestling pay-per-view of all time.
Well, why not? Otis has a legit wrestling background too. They can play that up, and yeah, I don't know. It's not like there's anything he's not good at. Otis is a good wrestler. He's entertaining. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but who do you have him beat, though?
Braun Strowman somehow? Oh, no. Actually, this was what I was thinking the other day. We know that Bray Wyatt has a type. His type is big, beefy men with beards, obviously. He manipulates Otis because Otis is so friendly. Otis becomes a slave to Bray. Bray takes the briefcase and cashes in for himself against Braun. Otis becomes a new member of the Wyatt family.
That's an interesting one.
And then,
I think it's a stretch.
Yeah, but then you can...
But it's an interesting stretch.
Because then you can lead up to the breakup of Bray and Otis, where Otis finally breaks free and starts, dancing and gyrating, and then we get these two big dudes. Yeah, and he breaks free. I think it could be fun.
I just love the way he talks and the way he does. I'm so happy he won it, because even when he had it, he was just like, I'm coming. He's so sick, yeah. And then that whole Asuka,
oh wow, yeah.
Asuka, even the women's Money in the Bank match was so good. The overall Money in the Bank match, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, this could be an absolute train wreck, or it could be absolutely brilliant. And the way they did it was it's just in line with this new cinematic universe that they've created.
Yep.
Since there's no crowds. And I think the only way going forward, really, for any of WWE or AEW or anyone to succeed is to continue this cinematic kind of universe, because it's working so well.
I like it. They've set the precedent too. I think even when crowds come back, one every pay-per-view. Give me one cinematic match. Tie that into the gimmick of the show. We don't need a real Money in the Bank match every Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Maybe Hell in a Cell becomes some thing that's filmed in a warehouse, and then that way you can go over the top with it. You know, what are the other ones? Elimination Chamber? Nah, the Elimination Chamber is now an actual chamber, you know, and they've got to escape from it or something. Like, it's fun. And like we mentioned, this is Vince McMahon's dream.
Exactly. And you've got to look at how, like, kind of disappointing all of these gimmick kind of pay-per-views have been in recent years too. Hell in a Cell hasn't been working. Elimination Chamber hasn't really been working that well. So maybe from now on, we're moving away from these pay-per-view gimmicks to cinematic gimmicks in, like, why can't we just have a SummerSlam pay-per-view where the elimination gimmick is filmed and then shown at the like Survivor Series or SummerSlam or wherever?
Yeah, SummerSlam means there's some sort of beach match. Survivor Series is like a 4-on-4 fight, you know, in some location. I think it's fine. I love how there was basically no resistance after everyone saw WrestleMania. Pretty much everyone was like, yeah, cool.
Sick.
Yeah, keep doing it. Money in the Bank.
It's going to film
Pretty
shit
much
now.
everyone loved it.
Fine.
Yeah. What was hilarious to me, I shared it in our private Facebook group, just talking about wrestling with the guys. But Brian Alvarez, you know, like famous wrestling journalist, he hated the match. So he put a poll on Twitter saying Money in the Bank match, love it or hate it. It was like 80% loved it. But then he still resisted and went on YouTube and on his radio show or whatever, ranted about how bad it was. You're wrong. Just take the L and move on. Everyone loved it. If you don't like it, too bad.
Alvarez has never taken the L.
Yeah,
That's the only problem. It's his opinion or no opinion.
Yeah, but I love it. Like, it covered both grounds. If casual fans liked it and the hardcore fans who follow him on Twitter liked it, maybe you've just got to admit, hey, I just don't get it. I'm wrong, you know? Yeah. It was a fun pay-per-view. I will say, though, out of the non-Money in the Bank matches, Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins was great.
That was a 5 out of 5 match. It really was. Like, I wasn't expecting anything from that match at all. I was like, I'm going to skip most of this, or I'm just going to, like, not care about it. But I was, like, probably my second favorite behind, if we take out the Money in the Bank matches. I love the Braun versus Bray match. Probably it copped a lot of flack from a lot of people, but I think it just set up everything so perfectly. Like, it was a really great storytelling kind of match. Like, it sets up the Fiend versus Braun, which I think comes next. So if you just go back and watch that Braun versus Bray match, you see all the mannerisms and how Bray was kind of reacting to everything that was happening. You haven't really seen that in a wrestling match for a while. And that's why Bray is so good, is because even at the end of the match, how he was kind of staring Braun down, he's like, I know what's coming next. It's not going to be this Mr. Rogers weird kind of character. It's going to be the Fiend, and he's going to just dominate Braun.
Yeah, and then we'll see where that goes, because then does sort of, you know, Braun have to embrace his dark side and sort of go back to being the black sheep. I don't know. I thought it was, it's setting something up. I think people were a bit harsh on that, but I thought it was entertaining for what they did. Maybe it made it obvious because Bray was just Bray and he wasn't the Fiend that he wouldn't win, but it doesn't matter. They were trying to tell this story on this show. It's not over yet. So
no, which is good, which is what you need from these kind of pay-per-views. You can't have a Money in the Bank or a Backlash where it's just one match and it's over. We need to be going for longevity, because who the hell knows when we're going to be having some kind of normality back with WWE. So if they're just going, yep, this is Bayley versus Tamina, for example, and it feels like it's got a straight finish, we need to know that there's something else coming in the future.
Well, moving on to Raw, though, the big news, the biggest news probably, you know, that we've heard in a very long time, Becky Lynch relinquished the Women's Championship, and Asuka is the champion now after winning Money in the Bank. Congratulations to Becky and Seth.
Oh, it's unbelievable news. Like, good on her for just finding something, so like having something so positive with life when it's so hard to find something like that at the moment, and having yeah, the way they did this was really great.
Yeah, I had
Really, really great.
no idea what was going on watching it.
No, I was watching it. I thought that something was really wrong. I was like, hang on, she's not retiring. I was like, uh-oh. It had like an edge feel to it. I was like,
Mm.
oh no, she's walking away forever. But it turned out to be. It kind of makes sense now why they're giving this to Oscar, because anyone else up there kind of taking the title would have felt weird.
Mm.
But because Oscar's so like happy and joyous and kind of positive in it in the weirdest way possible, yeah, she did it so well, and it's a perfect ending to the run that Becky's had to.
Yeah, I think so. And what a great line, though. I feel like it's going to be replayed for years, where Becky said, "You go be a warrior, I'm going to go be a mother." And that's sort of how she announced it. And Asuka's, reaction was so genuine and great. That was a good moment. Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah,
and then I liked how they sort of teased us, because anyone who was paying attention would have seen the handshake at the end of the Drew and Seth match and thought, oh, that's weird. And then you hear Becky's announcement and you think, oh, Seth is going to be a good guy because of, Becky's having a baby. But I think that was just a fake out, because Seth was definitely not a good guy by the end of Raw.
He nearly killed Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, it looked great.
It was such a good, and the way they could do it with the mask and everything of oh man, I really do hope the way they go with Seth here is they turn him to this look, I am a god, I am like a creator, and that he's like, I am actually the Messiah now, because my child's going to be like the second
coming. Oh no.
Yeah, it's like, I really hope that's the way they go, because that's, if they play it that way, it's so smart and so good. So but and I'm really happy that Seth didn't come out with Becky too.
Yeah.
And do it together, because it would have that would have undone all of the work that he's been doing recently to make himself seem like such an asshole.
Which he's doubled down on, which makes it even better. They didn't give in and just think, he's going to be cheered. Like, nah.
Yeah.
And was that the first time we've ever seen Seth Rollins with dry hair? I think because he's crazy now, he didn't wet his hair. That's what stood out to me. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Look how big his hair is.
At the end of every match, he looked at the start of the match how he looks like at the end of the match every night.
He's never started looking like that. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And then the other big news from Raw, though, the returns of Edge and Randy Orton. I want to know what you think, because it was a great segment. I thought the promos were good, but it was so... I feel like there's a twist, but the whole idea of this is going to be the greatest wrestling match of all time, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't buy it. There's going to be some sneaky stuff for sure.
Yeah.
There's no I think they're going to have an absolute banger of a match. I think it'll go for 20 minutes. It'll be an absolute clinic that people will point at for years to come and go, this is how you put on a wrestling match, but it ain't ending in a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
No way.
Maybe it ends with Randy struggling and he just finally gives in, just kicks him in the nuts or something.
Yeah. Or someone comes down. There's got to be sneakies happening in this match. I'm kind of thinking whatever the next pay-per-view is, if it's a Hell in a Cell kind of thing, or something like that, it'll lead to another gimmick.
One more.
Look, I'd be happy with these guys going until Mania next year or wherever they can actually get the big payoff of a crowd, and Edge coming out to a crowd and Orton losing to him or beating him or whatever in front of a crowd, because that's what this really deserves. I'm happy with them just kind of screwing around with things until Edge gets what he deserves out of all this, for sure.
Yeah. Look, I look forward to the match. Not everyone liked it, but they had a match in 2004 at Vengeance that went about half an hour for the IC title. The crowd's sort of quiet at the start, but I remember by the end of it, everyone's going crazy. These guys have great chemistry. They had a lot of good matches on Raw. The only time they tried wrestling again on pay-per-view, Randy Orton gets injured 5 minutes in. One of the times where he wrecked his shoulder. So it always felt sort of unfinished business. And what bad luck they've had, these two, trying to have a pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
They had one really good one. Every other match they've had has been on Raw. Because, WrestleMania, no crowd. That other time, Randy wrecked his shoulder. I like that they're just trying. Because I think they think if they get it right on a pay-per-view, it might be one of the greatest matches ever. So, yeah. And also, people need to stop saying Randy Orton can't talk. It's his character. And when he is doing a promo like this where he's meant to be fired up, he's great. He just changes it depending on sort of where he's at.
Yeah, I don't know who's saying that. There must be they haven't been paying attention to the Randy Orton character really. He is weird, and he does things in a different way to most other wrestlers, but that's the Orton character. He's better than everybody else. Just does whatever he wants, not what everyone else is doing. So I think it'll be fantastic. And if it does finish clean, and I'd be expecting an Orton win, because you can't go Edge twice and then think that it's going to continue on after that. So I'd think if Orton does get the win over him, then you're going to be looking at another kind of gimmick match after that, or maybe a title shot for one of them, and then we go, maybe lead up to Mania next year where it's for a world title or Rumble or something like that.
Well, we'll see how much they can get out of it. But yeah, if the promos are always going to be this good, keep it going for a while. I'm all for it.
Oh, keep it going for a year. I don't care. It's so good. It's the best thing going right now.
So switching to NXT, they made a big announcement on this week's show, as you can see here in a pretty fun video. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg, DX announced the comeback of In Your House. The next takeover will be Takeover In Your House, June 7th, but for us in Australia, June 8th on the network. They released the logo. It's basically the classic In Your House logo that, anyone who was around in the 90s remembered. Here we go. Pull it up on Twitter. How awesome is that?
It's so good. Wasn't someone going to use the In Your House? Was it AEW or someone like that was going to use In Your House recently and they got stopped for it?
Really? I know AEW have tried trademarking some of the old WCW names. I know Cody's put a trademark. But then again, maybe WWE had to use this trademark just in case some, Indie Fed or AEW took it.
Yeah, I love going back to the old pay-per-view titles like this. I'd love to see them do more of this, especially when we're in quarantine. Why not just start doing, bring back Bash at the Beach, even though actually no, AEW did that recently.
Yeah,
they did Bash at the Beach.
They took it back.
Let's see what we can bring up, dig up old pay-per-views and any kind of retro kind of stuff. Why not give it a shot?
Do a Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
Do this Tuesday in Texas. I think Texas is going to relax their quarantine laws, so go do a show there.
Then if that happens, they're going to be bringing every single show to Texas.
Yeah, so that was the big thing from NXT. I'm excited to see what that even means. I'm guessing it's going to be sort of retro themed, and of course, Johnny Gargano retweeted the gif of Shawn Michaels swinging from the roof of the house. If you've never seen Shawn Michaels enter a pay-per-view from a roof, you missed out in 95 or whatever this was.
I hope that Gargano really does do that. And they just they need to bring that exact set.
Yeah,
Don't
the house.
do anything else other than the house, because the house is so sick. It's so iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah. If someone's not being thrown off the top of that house, they're not doing this right.
Oh, yes, that's got to happen. It would be even funnier if that happened at the start of the match, like the guy's doing his entrance and it's like, nope. Just
go straight through the top of the house.
And that's it, yeah. So that should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I'm guessing a lot of fans probably never watch the In Your House shows, though. Unless you were watching at that time, because that time of WWE really gets shat on by a lot of fans, the new generation era. Yeah. There's good stuff, though. Those shows might not be the best, but you'll find some really good stuff.
It's not the greatest stuff in the world. There's a lot of poo in there, a lot of stuff that a lot of would be very skippable in nowadays. But even just that gif of Michael's coming off the top of the roof, that kind of stuff is sick.
Yeah.
And it's, and you go back to a lot of WCW stuff, and a lot of it is terrible, but there's a lot of gold in that terrible too.
Yeah, that's it. It's you know what? That's honestly wrestling. Some of it's good, some of it's bad. At the best times, it's always, a mixed bag. And switching over to AEW, their big announcement this week at Double or Nothing, Iron Mike Tyson is going to be presenting the TNT Championship, the winner of Cody and Lance Archer. Don't know how they got another WWE Hall of Famer to do a title ceremony. Because remember, they had Brett show off the world title.
Man, imagine if, that there's been all this talk recently of Mike Tyson coming back for a fight. Imagine if it's coming back to fight in AEW.
If Tony Khan has thrown the money at Mike Tyson to get that comeback Tyson fight, that is huge.
Cody versus Mike Tyson.
Oh, God.
Imagine that.
Is there anyone we can think of in I was going to say TNA, my God. Anyone in AEW who maybe has real fighting experience? Jake Hager.
Jake Hager, yeah. Yeah, what about Jake Hager?
Oh, my God. I didn't even think about that. He's been fighting
Hager
MMA.
Mike Tyson.
They're going to do it. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson.
That would be I think during this match, Hager comes down, interferes, costs Cody the match, and then Mike Tyson knocks him out, and then they do Hager versus Mike Tyson.
Yep. And they do it as an AEW pay-per-view, and you can only stream it on Fight TV, which they got the relationship with. My God.
Yeah. Book it.
That could be huge. That could be pay-per-view big-time money.
I'd watch the shit out of that. That would be so good. And if he can come back, if he can do all he needs to do really is be in the ring for 30 seconds and just knock Hager out, and that's it.
Yeah.
It won't be a match.
No, I was saying do it as a shoot fight, a real fight.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, you think he'll knock him out in 30 seconds? Yeah, okay.
The match. Have you seen the videos of him recently?
Oh,
it's
scary.
Videos of Mike Tyson training. You're like, no one in the world would do that. Like he's like, yeah. Let's pull this video up, right? This is scary shit. Here we go. He's like 55 or something.
Look how fast he still is. Yeah.
No way. He would kill Hager.
That's it. Just, I'm back. Dude. He's a scary man.
Kill him. That is incredibly scary.
Okay. Well, it could happen. And you know what? They might tie it into this next bit of footage we should take a look at. They put the trailer out. I think it ran like 3 times during Dynamite. Cage Fighter premieres in a couple of days on Fight TV. AEW World Champion Jon Moxley is a star in this movie. And it's funny because it's about a guy who was a boxer and then a pro wrestler, and then he has a mixed martial arts fight. Could this really be happening? Will it be Mike Tyson versus Jake Hager, brought to you by AEW and Cage Fighter the movie on Fight TV?
Shit, the more we think about it now, the more this is going to happen.
Yeah, synergy, brand synergy.
Sense.
Yep. Did you see the trailer?
Yeah.
What did you think?
It's interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
It's...
For anyone who's watching this, you'll see it. But for anyone who's only listening, the trailer opens with a shot of like a mixed martial arts crowd, and it's fucking CGI. It's not even a real crowd.
That is unbelievably fake. So fake. The first thing I saw, I went, "Oh, they've used a video game or something."
Yeah. Oh. And then, if you look at the trailer, what's even weirder? They're like John Steele or whatever Moxley's name is, but then they use footage of him in AEW with Mox written on his t-shirt.
Why can't they use his real name? Like, if they're going to have AEW programming in it, why not call him Jon Moxley? Like, why not make this... Like, it just doesn't make any sense at all.
Because, they give him a fake name. It doesn't make sense when you see the footage.
He's already got a fake name. His name's not actually Jon Moxley.
No, I know. Yeah. It's weirder because the character isn't called Jon Moxley.
Name?
Yeah. I don't know.
Why give him a second fake name? Is
Yeah.
Chuck Liddell's name not Chuck? Is his name Chuck Liddell in the movie?
Oh, it probably isn't. It could be.
Man,
I don't know. I wasn't paying that much attention. I was
they
just.
call him Chuck Moxley.
Yeah.
That's why.
They're like, sorry,
Can't call you John Moxley because we have Chuck Moxley.
We already used that name. I'll just play the audio from the end of the trailer because it's a nice little Easter egg for wrestling fans. Because also in the movie, the former Christian, Jay Riso, is in it. He plays
which is very weird.
Just playing a radio host. But yeah, a nice little bit with him and Moxley's character.
It's a game, dude.
Randy, come on. This isn't scripted like the other place you came from.
Aha, because wrestling's fake. Get it? I thought that was... What a weird way to end that ad.
He's it's weird that Christian's in it because it's obviously a direct tie to AEW.
Yeah.
Then, oh no, Chuck Liddell plays Marcus.
Just Marcus.
Why not call it? Why not just let it be Chuck Liddell?
I don't know. You've got to watch the movie and find
about
out.
Cage fighters. Yeah, I'm watching the shit out of this. But the weird point. Oh, it's not John Stone. Yeah, Randy Stone.
Sorry, Randy
John
Stone.
Moxley.
Yeah,
So
Randy
weird.
Stone.
Sounds like that's a porn name.
So
Randy
is
Stone.
Max. So is
Yeah,
Max Black.
Stephen Drake, Tony Gunn. I'm just looking at their porn names. And the main character doesn't even have a second name, just Reese.
Reese.
Probably Reese fucks a lot or something.
Yeah, I don't know about this movie.
Man.
Uh,
I'm still gonna watch it. But yeah, as I say, it is interesting that Christian's working with AEW people too, because he's still like in ties with WWE. He's not really like out of that world. So for him to still be going in on that is it's a weird one.
Well, we'll see, because yeah, he's still on backstage almost every week. Is he going to promote this movie on that? That seems weird.
Well, it is a Fight TV thing.
Yeah.
And WWE, like WrestleMania, was on Fight TV.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well, also from AEW, the Casino Ladder Match. 9 wrestlers, 2 entrants start the bout, with another entering every 90 seconds. The winner is decided when one wrestler takes the casino chip, earning the title match. Which means, as it says here...
One chip.
Yeah, the chip can be grabbed at any time, so it's possible a winner could be decided before all entrants get involved.
How unfair is that? Like, imagine if you're coming in last, you're just sitting backstage and go, well, this is bullshit. Like,
First guy just
so
grabs
weird.
it.
What, they're just going to have one chip just hanging above the ring?
Oh, I'm guessing it'll be like a big decorative chip, you know?
It's got to be a massive chip, because if it's one chip, you would imagine that. Just one chip and everyone's kind of reaching for it.
Just reaching.
And how easy would that be to grab is just that one chip.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It sounds kind of fun, but the suspension of disbelief, and I know we believe in The Undertaker being a zombie and Money in the Bank happening in an office, but you're right. To think that you've got to sit through 9 contestants before someone wins is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I think what they're going to do, though...
Everyone will be in it.
Yeah, they'll establish that everyone will be in it and then someone will win. But then, you know, maybe next year or the year after, they're going to have to do it where it ends 6 people in. Just to make that an option.
Yeah. I hope that... Look, AEW is really good at blowing everybody away, so I hope they do it when only 4 people are in there. That would be great.
Yeah.
That would make it really interesting, and then you'd have people. Let's say, like, who's in it so far? Can you scroll down again? It's what, Darby Allin,
Phoenix, Colt Cabana.
See, I'd maybe you've
Cassidy.
got Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, probably some bigger names in it than those 3. I'd say towards the end. You know, maybe if Omega and oh no, Omega's already in a match, isn't he?
Yeah, Brody Lee for the title.
Jesus, there's not a lot more else in there. Let's say, you know, Matt Hardy's in there. What if Matt Hardy and Allen and Orange Cassidy are the only 3 in it there, and then Matt Hardy gets it? That, you know, then you can have those other guys coming out and being like, this is rubbish. We didn't even get in the match, and then it keeps those feuds going. But I think it'll be great.
Yeah, well, this sounds like a batshit crazy pay-per-view, and I'm looking forward to it because, we've got the Casino ladder match. We've also got the Stadium Stampede match, the Elite versus the Inner Circle. It's going to take place...
What the hell is that?
I don't know. Well, it's going to take place in a football field, and I think it's going to be fun. I like that both major promotions are just like, screw it, let's do whatever we want,
Look, the best things in wrestling over the last couple of months have been the things that we've sat back before it's happened and gone, what the hell is this going to be? So, if I sit back before this pay-per-view and go, what the hell is this whole pay-per-view? I'm sure it'll be brilliant.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So that happens next weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
It's looking pretty good. Trying to find the date. Yeah, May 23rd. So next weekend on Sunday for us in Australia, which is always great. I like that the AEW pay-per-views aren't clashing with WWE.
No, and it's good if it's like 2 weeks spread out or not too close to it. That's perfect.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. Switching gears, a few weeks ago we spoke about, it was just us, not on a show. We were literally just having a conversation about the new WWE Battlegrounds game. It looks like WWE is just going crazy with video games. So they're doing a crossover with the King of Fighters legendary fighting game. Old school arcade fans will remember that. But anyway, this is for the downloadable version. I'm pretty sure it's a mobile game. But it's King of Fighters All-Stars with the WWE. We don't need audio here because there's no...
Wow.
It's just the music. But yeah, what the hell? WWE wrestlers in a King of Fighters game. Just weird cartoon versions of them. So you got The Rock, you got John Cena, Becky Lynch, I think it's Kofi, and I think it's The Undertaker.
It kind of looks like a Tekken
Seth
game.
Rollins, yeah.
Like this could be Tekken 4. Imagine having like Kofi Kingston in Tekken though.
Well,
that'd be so sick.
I'm really surprised King of Fighters got the rights because it's always felt like lower on the totem pole of the fighting games. Because, it's not Tekken, it's not Mortal Kombat, it's not Street Fighter. Like, King of Fighters has been around forever, like 30 years. But it's weird that this is who the WWE is doing the crossover with. Like, I remember playing these games. I can't name a character, even though, like, I know what they look like. But,
Nah.
Anyway, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
How scary is the character
Cena looks weird. Cena looks like a 70-year-old man. Look at that. That's so strange.
Yeah.
As if he's ticked off on that and gone, I look great. Put me in as that.
I don't think John
The Rock
Cena
kind of looks like a bit of a drag queen. Go back to The Rock's character and tell me it doesn't look like it looks like they're painted on.
Oh.
You know what? Right?
You know what?
It does. Put a little mole there, and that's like
Cindy Crawford.
That's proper.
All of them have a little bit of like makeup on. You're right. There's something weird about these character models.
They're a bit feminine. I can never say that word properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They all look like chicks.
Yeah, it's kind of weird what they've done to them. You're right. Look at Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
Doesn't even look like he has teeth. It looks like he's just wearing a white mouth guard.
It's a white mouth guard, yeah.
These character models are wild. You know what's weird about the video games, though, and John Cena? You said, like, why would he tick off for that? I didn't realize, but the last WWE game, I think it's 19 or whatever, John Cena doesn't even do his own voice. It's like an actor doing John Cena.
Really?
Yeah. And then I posted about
Probably
it on Twitter, and a few people were like, "Oh, didn't you know?" The fuck would I know that? Anyway.
He probably because he was off doing movies and stuff. He didn't have anything to do with anything for a long period of time. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I know. It's just so weird though. It's like when I never watched it as a kid because we were too young. But then when you see footage of that Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling Connection, like the cartoon, it's the guy from Everybody Loves Raymond doing Hulk Hogan, like the brother, and you see the footage and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
One more.
What's that? I love the tagline, the hashtag. Do you smell? Do you smell?
Let's explore that hashtag.
Oh my God.
Here we go. We got a casserole
There's-
that someone's tagged. Do you smell Royal Rumble casserole?
do you smell? Come on. Get it right at least a little bit.
Here we go. Lots of people tell me I smell like crayon, Robert Pattinson, and someone reposted that with "Do you smell?"
Here we go. Someone actually commenting about the wrestling.
Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. Do you smell?
Yeah, I think everyone's caught on.
Man.
Someone here, the fucking "Do you smell?" hashtag had me laughing all morning. Yeah, it's good.
I love it.
All right.
Good on him. Good on him for having a go.
Yeah, good try, King of Fighters. Someone who tried having a go was this guy on Stone Cold's Instagram feed. This has been shared on Twitter by heaps of people. So Austin posted himself in his car doing the responsible thing. In America, they're required to wear face masks when they go out. Posted himself wearing a mask, Alabama mask. He's like, haha, I don't go for him, but my friend made it and I've got to do the right thing or whatever. Then this guy replied saying, the mask goes against your reputation. Stay strong, be a rebel and don't conform. Cool mask, but strip off the communism. Austin replied, shut up, dude. Just
It's such an Austin reply.
yeah.
You can hear it in his voice and everything. Just that, shut up, dude.
Yeah.
And that's it.
This guy thought he
love
was going to bond with Austin and, yeah, you're right. And nah, Austin's like, nah.
It didn't take a bite at all.
Yeah. Shattered his dreams like fucking glass shattering with his music.
Very good.
Yeah, there we go.
Very good. Very clever.
Yeah, some fun stuff this week. Interesting week in wrestling. Not much more we can say at that. Although I do want to say, in terms of like what's going to happen in the future, there's been talk of SummerSlam moving a few months forward and maybe moving city completely. Won't be in Boston.
Well, yeah, it's just a big case of who the hell knows at the moment what's going to happen. Like, if they plan to do SummerSlam without an audience, then do it at the start of summer. Get it over and done with, like, as soon as you possibly can, because we can have really big storylines and big build-ups for SummerSlam. But if there's even a hint of being able to do SummerSlam with a crowd, then it needs to be at the absolute arse end of summer. So we're looking like August, September, like pushing to the end of August, which I can't see at the end of August there being crowds, but yeah, we just don't know.
Yeah, like it's one thing over there. Obviously, their rules are a little different, but I can't imagine what's going to happen here in Australia. We saw the WWE tour get pushed back a whole year. It's not happening till next year. Yeah, I don't know how promotions here, what the plan could even possibly be. Such a weird time for any form of live entertainment.
Well, there was news that came out like tonight about that international travel won't be the same until 2023 again. So does that mean that, we're not going to be able to have any wrestling out in Australia until 2023?
Yeah, in terms of international people coming down, how can they?
Yeah.
It's weird.
If there's no international flights to the US, then there's sure is not going to be, 30 or 40 wrestlers coming out to Australia just to do a 3 or 4 day tour. That's just not going to happen.
Well, and then their production teams too.
Yeah, it's as I said, it's not just the wrestlers that need to come down. It's everyone involved, and it's a massive, massive crew. So all we can do is just stay positive and hope that things get back to normal relatively soon. But if there is no crowd with the SummerSlam, that they're going to make it maybe it should be a 2-day kind of thing again, 2 nights for SummerSlam, because it is normally massive. And then, the WrestleMania 2-night thing worked a treat. So why not try and do a 2-night SummerSlam too? Yeah,
well, that's sort of the next big checkpoint. So we'll see what they work out for that. And obviously we'll be here following it all. Hopefully you've enjoyed the show. We're going to wrap it up now. No need to crap on about other things. I think we've ticked off all the big points.
Crapped on enough.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've been watching on Facebook, thank you. If you're listening to the podcast, great. If you want to check out the video, find it on Facebook for now. We'll post all the updates on Twitter and Facebook about what's going on. But hopefully we can get some guests on soon and keep the ball rolling. Actually, is there anything you want to say about The Undertaker's Last Ride, episode 1?
I think we'll do a big summary next week because episode 2 comes out. So we'll do a bit more of a wrap up. But so far, if it gets any better than this is going to be the best WWE documentary that they've ever done by an absolute mile.
Yeah, it was great. It felt like a setup, so I'm happy to dig deeper next week. We all knew the story of this episode. It was so cringe at points, though, because so many times Undertaker was like, yeah, I'd hate to have a bad match on the way out. You know, like every 5 minutes he was like, oh, I'd never want to have a bad match. And you're like, no.
But it was great getting an insight as to why he did come back.
Yeah.
It wasn't a money thing. Like he genuinely saw the match and went, that was terrible. I have to do something else. And then it's going to lead to the Goldberg thing. And so I love the biggest pop for me in that thing was seeing him and how Michelle McCool was talking about when they went to the hospital that there was 2 people there with him and it was Vince and Brock.
Yeah.
I always thought that Brock and The Undertaker hated each other and they actually didn't get along, but it looks like it's the complete opposite, that they're actually really close. Yeah,
they seem like good friends. You saw them say hi to each other at WrestleMania, and it explains a lot how many times they've wrestled. Even after WrestleMania 30, they had a few more. I want to know where the story ends in terms of the doc. I'm really looking forward to it. I really want to know, is it simply bookended with the Boneyard match? And he says, yep, I was happy with that. Because I didn't realize this goes all the way up to it, because the trailer premiered at Mania, but the Boneyard match was featured in the intro to episode 1. So
yeah, this could be it. That he could then say when he rides off with the Taker sign and everything, he's like, that's it.
That was it. Yeah. Because he did mention in an interview, he said in an interview a couple of weeks ago, and it sort of went under the radar because it was just with some weird Instagram live Q&A he did for some clothing company. But he mentioned that, you know how he said there's going to be an unholy trinity at the Boneyard match? And they said, we didn't understand who was there with you. And he said, no, there was. It was The Undertaker as the dead man. It was the American Badass, and it was Mark Calloway. He's like, you saw all 3 versions. So does that mean you finally saw every version of The Undertaker all at once? And yeah, he just wrote off. He's done.
Yeah, right. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot to it. We'll see. If he's happy with that. Like, if The Undertaker was content with that, I'm content with that being The Undertaker's end.
If it's good enough for Taker, it's good enough for me.
Yeah. He buried a dude and he rode the bike again. Perfect. So
yeah, all we needed was the Limp Bizkit music, which we didn't get. But hopefully, man, and it's at the end, like they just do rolling just at the end.
They should rewrite history. And when he watches this back at the end of the last episode, it's rolling. And he's like, yep, perfect.
Yeah.
And it ends.
That's all we needed. I love Metallica, but come on, it needed to be Limp Bizkit.
I know. I love Metallica too, but yeah, you're right. It should have been rolling. Well, anyway, maybe cut in Roland at the end of this episode. That's how this episode ends.
I can do that. I can do that easily.
All right, post-production magic. It's going to happen. We're going to roll out of here. We'll catch you next time. Neil, it's been fun.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to OzcastNetwork.com for details.